Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Jafira Aulia Rabani Anedin and I'm from 12 Science 6, and today I'm going to give you a presentation about my scholarly paper with the title How Netflix Influenced the Student's Character. First of all, I want to say thank you to both my advisors and also my family and my friends who have been supporting me and helping me out through this scholarly paper. So in this presentation, I'm going to be dividing it into 4 parts. So the first part is I'm going to be telling you about the background of my scholarly paper. The second part is the problem formulations of my scholarly paper. The third part is the content of the scholarly paper. And the last part is the conclusion to the scholarly paper. So for the background. As we all know, Netflix is a streaming service that allows their members to watch a wide variety of TV shows, movies, documentary on internet connecting devices. As we all know, these era, Netflix has become so popular that using Netflix has become like a lifestyle, especially for teens. Teens spend about 7 to 10 hours a day on their phones scrolling to social media, and watching movies are one of the main activities that they do, leading Netflix to have a 4.5 star rating on the Play Store and also on the Apple Store. So in this digital era, character education is very important. As we all know, the purpose of character education is to shape individual self-improvement continuously. So with that being said, I would like to examine this scholarly paper with the title How Netflix Influenced the Student's Character. Moving on to the second part is the problem formulation. In this scholarly paper, there are 3 points or 3 problem formulations that I'm going to be talking about. The first is what are the positive and negative effects of using Netflix. The second one is what causes the student's behavior to change after they use Netflix. And the last thing is how to distinguish the student's character with the ones who uses Netflix and the one who doesn't use Netflix. So to answer these questions, I've done a lot of research and interviews to several people, and so what are the positive and negative effect? So based on my research, I have concluded to 4 main points of the positive side to Netflix. So the first one is stress release. As we all know, students spend about 8 hours a day on school, and they tend to have school for 5 days. So that means they tend to spend 40 hours of studying. Other than that, we have a lot of presentation and also task, and also exam, and that can be really stressful for students. So with watching Netflix, only spending like 1 to 2 hours laying down with your family or with your friends, snacking and watching a great movie, first do really give a stress release, since we can bond with each other and we can just chill. So yeah, Netflix is really good for releasing stress. And the second point is boost creativity. As we all know, Netflix provides us great movies with their great editing, about their CGI, their color grading, and also their movie tracks. And these things really actually inspire teens to be more creative, since these days cinematography has been really popular and a lot of teens tend to use cinematography. And with Netflix having great CGI and great cinematography really boosts our creativity to copy and try to interpret and making great content. Other than that, the third point is educational values. As we know that Netflix really do provide us with a lot of documentaries about politics, culture, science, natural science, and there are basically many more that can be very beneficial for the students and also for the teacher, just to give us teaching materials that are suitable for the subjects that we're learning. First, with these documentaries, sure, the students can be they can be having a fun learning experience because they're watching documentaries that gives them a relaxing and give them a really fun method of learning, and also is very, very educational. So that's why Netflix really do gives a lot of educational values. Other than that, Netflix also gives us a lot of moral lessons. As we know, since Netflix has become so popular, Netflix has a lot of movies that are tackling into so many important issues. For example, one of their movies or serial that they release is the title is 13 Reasons Why, that tackle about mental illnesses. And in that movie, it teaches us about anxiety, depression, sex education, and also a lot of things that we don't really learn from school. And those gives us a lot of moral lessons that we can interpret to our daily life as teenagers. Rather, for the negative effect of using Netflix, there are two main points that I have to conclude. So the first one is the bad filtration. As we know, Netflix has become really popular and really big, and it's really easy to access with no minimum age restriction. That means students or children can access a lot of movie genre, making it possible for them to watch a movie that is not suitable for their age. Other than that, as we all know, Western movie uses slang words and also curse words a lot, and that is really actually a very bad influence, especially for students, because they can interpret it in their daily life, and that can leading to a bad moral. The second thing is Netflix really glorifies the liberate way or Western style so much, since we know that Netflix really provides us with a lot of movie from the Western, and the Western movie really tends to give us like a very liberate lifestyle, which students tend to follow since they think it's cool. But actually it is not, since our own country has an ideology, and our ideology is Pancasila ideology that we have to use as to guide our life. So that's why these are one of the negative things that Netflix actually give us. Moving on to what changes the students' behavior after they use Netflix. Well, there are 3 points. The first one is their mindset. According to an article by the WordPress Trend Education, the easiest way to change someone's behavior is by changing their mindset. And one of the fundamentals to do is by role modeling. So when teens watch a movie, they can gain a new perspective from the topic that the movie is trying to deliver through the character, making them to copy it and make a new behavior pattern. The second thing is our surrounding or our society. As we know, Netflix has become really popular, and Netflix uses this mass or these viewers when they make great movies with, for example, they make movies that talks about social issues, mental issues, and they want to educate their audience so their audience can be more concerned about a lot of these issues, so making the audience tend to have a new kind of mindset. Other than that, one of the things that also changes the students' behavior after they watch Netflix is their parents' guidance. As we know that family plays a very important role for their children, as we know that shaping our children is one of the roles of parents. So if parents don't guide their children, of course they can be misleaded. So according to psychology, students who watches a lot of gore scenes or movie genre that are like horror, thriller, and crime, they tend to make these students to have characteristic to be more aggressive, to be more sentimental, and to be more mentally unstable, and that is actually really bad. So that's why parents' guidance really do affect on children's behavior when they watch Netflix. So the last thing is, how do we distinguish students who watches Netflix and who don't? So basically we can see the differences is from their their personalities, and I have categorized them into 3 categories. So the first category is that the first category is the students has a characteristic to be very they are very outgoing. They are also tend to be trend center. They are very liberate. So these students in this category, they watch Netflix a lot, and they tend to come from a very privileged lifestyle. So they tend to follow a Western lifestyle, making them very, very liberal, and they don't really select a lot of what they watch. And for the second category is the category. So this second category comes from the majority of the students come from a middle class family. They have same characteristic trait, but they have a different trait. There are 3 different traits. They are more disciplined, they are more selective, and they are more responsible. Since these students in this category, they tend to be more selective in what they watch and how they receive the movie's message. So they tend to be taking more of the positive side than the negative side. And the last category is actually really, really different from the the two previous categories, especially in their character. So in this category, the student's character tends to be more outdated, they're more conservative, and they tend to be very religious since they don't watch Netflix at all, or they don't really watch a lot of Western movies, because Western movie portrays basically a lot of negative things. So that's why in this category they don't really follow it, making them really more conservative and antisocial. So in conclusion is, yes, Netflix do really really do have an impact to students' behavior or to students' character. And it is basically because Netflix can change our mindset. Also, other than that, our surrounding and also our parents' guidance are really important. So the conclusion is, when we tend to watch something or tend to watch a movie, it's better for us to always filter what we watch and be selective and be disciplined and also be responsible in what we are watching, because it is actually very important for us to filter all of this, take out the positive things, turn away the negative thing, because when we choose positive over negative, it tends to give us a better outcome in everything. So basically, that is it for my presentation. I know there is still a lot of things that I need to improve. That is all. Thank you for your attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.